So, Calamity Days. I mean, this is, I'm a big fan of Calamity Days. My daughters are big fans of Calamity Days. Beth Hanson's daughters are big fans of Calamity Days. And in fact, I was, yesterday had a 13-year-old come up, told her father, well, you know, those Calamity Days are resting with the governors. What's he going to do? And, you know, I saw her, I said, well, you could be the first to know, we'll sign the bill tomorrow. And, you know, it makes all the sense in the world. I have been for this all along. I appreciate the work of young Casey here and John Kerry and Tim Grindell in terms of moving this through. This was on a leadership agenda from the beginning. We've got it done. There's a couple interesting things about it. One is it allows school districts that get beyond the 5 Calamity Days to be able to add 30 extra minutes. I don't know why it's limited to 30. You know, an hour would be fine with me, but it's limited to 30. And I also extra minutes to make up for those days, so we can all get out and do what we do in the summer. And I'm not totally aware of all the technology, but I believe we are going to continue to expand the ability of schools to have the flexibility to use technology when it comes to these kind of weather days. In fact, it was interesting when Michelle Reed was talking about technology. Everybody says, let's get the kids to put down all of their electronic gizmos here. And instead of trying to get them to put them down, we ought to make them work for us on education. So, you know, like, I know that what my daughters do and what a lot of other young people do. So the use of technology, and that's not just putting a computer in a classroom and letting it sit in the corner. It's being able to fully integrate the use of technology into the way in which our children learn. So we'll have more to say on all that. That's something that I feel very strongly about. So we'll go back to 5 Calamity Days. We'll give the school districts more options. And of course, student safety is a priority. We want people up trying to figure out, can we get the buses on the icy roads? But in addition to that, the great bottom line is more sled riding. I mean, that's what we're all about here. So there's nothing, I don't think, you know, I think somebody here in Columbus wrote a column. It was really cool. You know, besides hearing it's Christmas morning, I guess the other thing that children say, and I can remember saying it myself, was, "Hey, it's a snow day." It's just such a great phrase, and it conjures up so many great images in our minds about what it was like when we were young. So. Casey, I'm going to call on you first. A 24-year-old state rep. That is so fantastic. Come on up here and talk, Casey.
Hello, Casey Kozlowski, State Representative for the 99th House District. My district's up there in northeast corner of Ohio, and we definitely we see a lot of snow up there. We generally measure it in feet versus inches. It's definitely an important bill. It addresses the calamity days. It'll bring that number back up to 5. But the biggest key, too, is to bring that control back to the local level, give the district superintendents the tools they need and what's best for their district to make that call, whether they want to have school that day or if they want to close that day. I think the last thing we want is to limit them with 3 days, give them that 5 days that have worked for many districts, but also to give them that flexibility to make up an unexcused calamity day in 30-minute increments. So we're just giving them those tools for them to succeed at the local level, and it's very important. But I'm certainly glad to be here with the governor as he signs House Bill 36. It's a great accomplishment.
Thank you, Casey. How's the grant going?
The grant facility is going great. Definitely exciting project going up there in Northeast.
Yeah, for those that don't know, the grant is, I call it Noah's Ark. There is a gentleman up there that had this vision about opening this massive and very advanced sports facility in Ashtabula County, and it's called The Great. He's a man of faith, and he's a man of vision, and when he started pounding the nails into the buildings there at The Great, I mean, I'm sure it was the same thing that people thought when Noah was building the ark out in the middle of the desert. But it has a world-class pool, world-class tracks, indoor, outdoor, and my understanding is people are coming in droves from all over the country to use this facility. It's something no one has ever written about. Joe, you're the hardest working reporter in this bunch. Ooh. You need to drive up there. I'll tell you, this is incredible. Puts this thing in the middle of nowhere. You know, it's a beautiful landscape, it's a beautiful county, great people, but you'd go, well, what did they do to locate this here? But it is near the freeway, and what we expect we'll see from this, they called economic development and entrepreneurship, more restaurants, more hotels. Pretty fantastic, Casey. How's it? Is it still going very well?
Going well, yes.
That's great. All right, we'll hear from our friend John Kerry.
Thank you, Governor. It's exciting to be here today for the bill signing with the Governor and my colleagues. I want to thank the Governor for support of House Bill 36, Calamity Day Bill. It was very important as far as getting it through the legislative process. So thank you, Governor. I also want to thank our staff, Laura, Jeff, and Lisa, who worked very hard. And I see Lynn Crow here who works for Senator Grindell. And talking to my superintendents, this is going to help them save money in the budget climate that we're in with economic situation. This will give them local flexibility to manage their resources just a little bit better. So in addition to what Casey and the Governor says, I think this makes good fiscal sense for Ohioans. And I just want to congratulate Representative Kozlowski on his first bill, and he did a masterful job. Thank you.
You know, I think one of my first bills was to name the turtle the official. Now, you know, in the old days, it was fun. I tell you how I named the turtle. I think it was named the official reptile because a bunch of kids, this is what I should have learned early on before I started all my quips, because the class said to me they thought the turtle would be the official reptile, so I introduced the bill, and of course the press, they would never think about distorting anything that I said or did, but I became the turtle guy, you know, okay. So now I'm forced to introduce Grindell.
Well, thank you, Governor. As a spotted salamander sponsor, I think we have something in common there. First of all, Governor, you're absolutely right about the great facility. What the media needs to know is they have a 5-star world-class chef there at that facility, so if you go up there, at least you're going to get a great meal on top of an amazing facility.
Just tell about it.
It's got a full-size indoor football field with the only one of 4 full-size regulation 6-lane tracks indoors in the world. This is an amazing facility, and if you haven't covered it, they really should cover it.
Yeah, it's really great.
It's right up on Route 90, and it's easy to get to when you get to our neck of the woods. Let me first of all say it was a privilege to work with Casey, who I know very well from the neighboring county, and my good friend Representative Kerry. I want to thank Lynn Crow and Liz from my staff for putting up with me. And Governor, you can appreciate what that effort must be.
I don't even want to consider what it'd be like with you every day.
My wife says the same thing, Governor.
Yeah.
She says the same thing. But I do want to thank you, Governor, for your leadership, because a little known story, when we had our first Senate breakfast, you were there, and the question came up about calamity days. This was early in January, and you were at the forefront of supporting this issue and saying we needed to restore the 5 days. And as we all know, it's a safety issue and a cost-effective issue, as Representative Kerry said. This saves real money for schools in the snow belt. But I want to commend the Governor and thank the Governor.
Common sense.
You recognize that there's a reality of Mother Nature in Northeast Ohio that the previous Governor somehow didn't seem to recognize. And it is a reality for our schools.
Got to go up there once in a while.
Absolutely, love to have you, Governor. And it's good for our schools, it's good for our student safety, our faculty and staff safety. It's going to save some money. But I do want to also thank your daughter, because as you may recall at that breakfast, you mentioned that your daughter had already spoke with you that morning, so I wanted to commend her as one of the most effective advocates in Ohio.
All right, thank you very much. Let's go ahead and, without any further ado, I notice that you wrote the date in here, Matt. I never seem to get the date right. Okay. Oh, okay. No. Today is what, the 11th, right? 13th. It's a beautiful day. I don't know whether we're ever going to get it warm around here. Huh? Reggie? You believe this spring? Yeah, pretty cold. How about those Indians? You ever get up to Cleveland, by the way? I do. Okay. How about those Indians, huh? And those Reds? I don't want to say anything about them both being in first place and I'm governor. You know, what the heck. Is that you laughing, Robbie? Go ahead. Okay, Casey, you're the man. Here you go.
Thank
You
you.
get the first one. John, Tim, and where's that staff? We giving these things to staff too, Matt?
Yes.
Where's the staff that participated? Approach the dais. Okay. What is your name?
Lynn Crow.
And what do you do then?
Keep from other trouble.
You work?
I try to keep them out of trouble.
Okay.
This is about the policy advisory speaker.
Okay. Wow. How are you, man? Good to see
Good.
you. Thank you. Hi.
Our pageant was John Kerry.
Okay.
Elizabeth Les, Senator Grinnell.
Okay, great. How come you get two? You know, when I was here, there were only 3 aides in the entire legislature. Huh?
Takes two of them to keep me out of trouble.
Okay, so we're locked. Give him a round of applause to Casey for his first debate.